transferred to Manchester United today.
Football predictions.
If Power Rangers nil, Ipswich Town 1.
Football predictions.
Hi, it's Peter Guest and the Moose, and we're here for another episode of the footballpredictions.net podcast covering Spanish La Liga games for the 20th to the 23rd of September 2024. What have we got in store?
We are going to start at Alaves, who takes on Sevilla. Then Real Sociedad visits Valladolid. Osasuna takes on Las Palmas. Valencia takes on Girona. Real Madrid takes on Espanyol. Leganés travels to Getafe. Athletic Bilbao takes on Celta Vigo. Barcelona travels to Villarreal. Rayo Vallecano takes on Atletico Madrid. And finally, Mallorca travels to Real Betis.
You can also see the details for all these matches that we're about to discuss in this podcast on our website, footballpredictions.net, along with fixtures from just about every other football competition in the world from A to Z.
Yes, and on our website, it'll show you where to watch the games on local broadcast channels, plus streaming services, as well as team news, head-to-head stats, and match shots from local bookmakers.
Yeah, and if you look in the description of this podcast episode, you can find direct clickable links to all the matches that we're about to discuss. Geolocation and live streaming rules apply, 18 plus, gamble aware. And let's get straight to the first game. Alaves, 9th in the table at the moment, who take on Sevilla, 14th. It kicks off on Friday, 20th of September at 8 p.m. UK time. They like a late kickoff in Spain, don't they? For this game, footballpredictions.net provides your local kickoff time, betting odds, and available viewing options. You can watch this one actually in the UK on Premier Sports Player, La Liga TV, and of course on Bet365, where you can watch it for free, really, because you can just live stream it if you've got something deposited, anything in your account, or have placed a bet in the last 24 hours. To do that, if you want to join them, use our bonus code on sign up, which is FP365. Right, let's see how they're shaping up.
Yeah, bit of a mixed start for Alaves, but probably more a bad start for Sevilla. Only until last week they had no wins, but then they did pick up a 1-0 win at home to Getafe, which we called. We said they were going to beat Getafe, and they did indeed beat Getafe. But yeah, other than that, no other wins for Sevilla this season. So 5 matches and just 1 win, 2 draws, both away from home, by the way, at Las Palmas and Mallorca. But other than that, defeat to Girona and Villarreal. As for Alaves, last time out, it ended up in a 3-2 defeat at Espanyol. Both teams to score we had in that game. And the last home game, at home to Las Palmas, we said Alaves were going to win that game 2-1. It ended 2-0, so we were very close on the correct score as well as the outcome in that game. Alaves has 2 wins this season. The other win was at Real Sociedad. 2 home games. The other home game prior to Las Palmas was Real Betis. We said under 2.5 and no both teams to score in that game. It ended 0-0. And the very first game of the season, we said Alaves were going to lose 2-1 at Celta Vigo, and they lost 2-1 at Celta Vigo. But yeah, apart from the Espanyol game, generally speaking, not a lot of goals in these Alaves matches, but still a lot of narrow sort of 2-1s here and there, and the same for Sevilla. So yeah, we think it might go. We think it might go down that route again.
Yeah, do you know Alaves are unbeaten in their previous 6 league matches at home, so they've got a good home record, and they've not been beaten in the league by Sevilla in their previous 4 games, so they've got a pretty good record against them as well. And we think that'll continue here. We are going for a 2-1 Alaves win. If you like a correct score prediction, and the odds on that correct score prediction for that market is a 9 or 8-1 in fractional. But we also like both teams to score, as you mentioned about the goal scoring. 1.95 odds is what you can get for that. For the just straight out Alaves to win, odds for that are at the moment anyway 2.1. Check our site and you'll see the latest odds. And in our poll on the site, on that page, on the website, which you can find in those clickable links, 70% of people also like Alaves for the win, quite a lot, and only 6% Sevilla, with the other 24% or so going for a draw. So yeah, probably quite tight. We've gone for the 2-1, as I mentioned, and we'll see if that eventuates. Next up, we've got Real Valladolid, 17th, right down the bottom, but so are Real Sociedad, who are 16th. Kicks off on Saturday, 21st of September at 1 p.m. UK time, that is, 2 p.m. locally there. And on footballpredictions.net, you will find the localized kickoff times and odds and all TV channels and streaming services. This one in the UK anyway, you can see on our site what it is to you, but it's on La Liga TV, Premier Sports Player, but also on Bet365 where you can live stream it for free, no subscription. Use the bonus code FP365 if you're going to do that. Not a lot of winning going on for these two teams lately.
No, not at all. Real Valladolid has had a really tough start to the season in the La Liga, but it has to be said, they started the season really well as a promoted team. They beat Espanyol 1-0 in the opening game. The only win so far this season, we predicted that. We said 1-0 Real Valladolid. And then in the 3 away games so far this season, we nearly called them exactly. We said they were going to lose 3-1 at Real Madrid. They lost 3-0. We said they were going to lose 3-0 at Barcelona, lost 7-0. But at the end of the day, we had Barca to win over 2.5 and no both teams to score. So that's what I mean by we called that one very well as well. And then last time out at Celta Vigo, they lost 3-1, and we said that it was going to end 3-1 to Celta Vigo, so we were spot on there. So two correct scores on Real Valladolid and some pretty exact predictions otherwise on them as well. But this is a home game for Real Valladolid, and actually at home they're yet to lose, and but there's only been one goal in the 2 games at home so far still this season. Now for Real Sociedad, again, we look at Real Valladolid. They beat Espanyol 1-0 in their first game of the season. Now, Real Sociedad's first away game of the season was at Espanyol, and we said Sociedad was going to win 1-0 in that game, and they ended up winning 1-0. So we called that 1-0 win against Espanyol as well, but this time from the perspective of Real Sociedad. Now, last time out, Real Sociedad also had an away game. That was at Mallorca. We said under 2.5 goals, and they ended up losing that game 1-0. Prior to that, not a big surprise. We said that Sociedad was going to lose at home to Real Madrid, and so they did. They lost 2-0. So yeah, I think overall, not a great start for either team here. This is going to be a very, very most likely low scoring a game against two teams who haven't scored many goals. They've scored 5 goals between them, just 5 goals between them this season, and they played 5 and 6 games each. So yeah, doesn't look like it's going to be an entertaining one.
Yeah, we think it'll be close, but we do think there will be a winner, and we think it's going to be the away team. We think Sociedad will get the win just by a goal. So we've gone for a low scorer. Under 2.5 goals is what we think. And you can only get odds of 1.53 on that. So obviously the bookies think that as well. But if you want a Real Sociedad win, 2.2 is what you can get in terms of odds on that one. And 1-0 is what we think is the score, as I mentioned. And 1-0, for 1-0, you can only actually get 6, odds of 6 or 5-1. But that's what we think. And so we're going to stick with it. In our poll, 61% of you out there who voted on our site on this page think a Real Sociedad will win, and only 22% Real Valladolid, with the other 17 odd percent or so going for a draw. So yeah, let's see how that one plays out, and hopefully there's a win coming out for one of those teams. Next up, we've got Osasuna, who are 13th in the league, who play Las Palmas, who are 19th in the league. Kicks off on Saturday, 21st of September at 3:15 in the afternoon, UK time that is. And find your all local kickoff time in the game odds and all the available broadcast streaming channels for this match on footballpredictions.net. I know that it's on La Liga TV if you've got a subscription, and also it's on Premier Sports Player. But if you want to watch it on Bet365, it's also available there, and you can stream that for free. Use our bonus code FP365 if you're new to them. So yeah, it could be an interesting one. Osasuna kind of going a bit hit and miss, but getting a couple of wins in, which is more than can be said for Las Palmas.
Yeah, this is really interesting because with both teams, we've actually called 4 out of the 5 outcomes. So 4 out of 5 outcomes for both teams we've called. But yeah, Las Palmas off to a fairly terrible start. It's quite interesting though. At home, they picked up points against Sevilla and Real Madrid, which sounds really good, right? But then, apart from those 2 points, it's ended up in 3 defeats. We called their last 2 defeats, the one at home to Bilbao last week, and then the 2-0 defeat at Alaves for Las Palmas as well. Yeah. So far, just 2 points from Alaves, which have both been at home. Now, but they are away in this game, obviously. And yeah, like I said, the last away game ended with a 2-0 win to Alaves. And we said it was going to be 2-1 Alaves. And in the first away game of the season, we said Las Palmas were going to lose 1-0 at Leganés, and they lost 2-1. So another narrow away defeat for Las Palmas. Osasuna, on the other hand, last time out, a defeat of 2-1 to Vallecano. No, sorry, 3-1. We said 2-1. So again, we had the outcome. We had the over 2.5, and we had the both teams to score prediction on that one. Not quite so much on the Celta Vigo home win for Osasuna. And again, Osasuna at home is unbeaten this season. They have 2 wins and 2 draws. We called their last 2 wins. We said they were going to beat Celta Vigo. They did. We also said they were going to beat Mallorca, and we said they were going to beat them 1-0, and they beat them exactly 1-0. Sandwiched in between those 2 games was a 4-0 defeat at Girona, which we also called because we said Girona was going to win 2-0. So no both teams to score, but a Girona win. So yeah, overall, we're looking very good on the outcome predictions for these 2. Osasuna strong at home, Las Palmas weak away from the island. What do we think that this is going to be?
Well, just add in some stats as well, which are on our webpage for this. Osasuna haven't been defeated in their previous 5 league matches at home. So that's a good record they've got there to add to the strength of the argument here. But listen to this. Las Palmas are without an away win for their last 10 league games. So who knows how long that might last. We think it'll continue on here, don't we? We've gone for a home win, but only by a narrow amount, just a 1-0. If you like that as a correct score, you can get odds of 6.5 in decimal. But yeah, we also like under 2.5 goals. And for that, the market there is giving you 1.67 odds. Osasuna to win, 1.9 is the odds you can get for that. And in our poll on our web page for this, 71% of people agree Osasuna to win, and only 12% Las Palmas. I suspect a few of those are Las Palmas fans. And for a draw, I mean, it's 18 odd percentish for the other voters. So yeah, let's hope that it's going to be an Osasuna win for their sake and for our sake. But next up, we've got Valencia, who are 20th, who play Girona, who are 10th. Kicks off on Saturday, the 21st of September, 5:30 in the UK. For this game, footballpredictions.net provides your local kickoff time and the betting odds and all the available viewing options, of which some are La Liga TV, Premier Sports Player, and of course, it's also being live streamed like all of these La Liga matches on Bet365. I like to use that. It's a really good and solid connection for them. And if you do join them, use our bonus code FP365. How's this one looking?
Well, if we look at our prediction, it looks very, very solid, because whereas on Osasuna and Alaves, we had 4 out of 5 on each. Now for Valencia, we have 5 out of 5 on outcomes, and we have 5 out of 6 for Girona. So on the which includes draws. It has to be said, this includes draws. We can start with Girona, the away team. They actually played midweek, because last season they actually finished in the top Champions League spots. So they played Champions League at PSG, and they got away with let's call it a respectable 1-0 defeat. We did predict them to go down at PSG. by one goal. We did say 2-1 though. But anyway, we predicted PSG to beat them. In the last La Liga game, we said that Barcelona was going to beat Girona 2-1. It ended 4-1, but again, both teams to score over 2.5 goals and a Barcelona win. That's what we wanted. And at the beginning of the season, we called the draw away to Betis in the first game. We then said Girona was going to go down to Madrid 3-1. It ended 3-0. And then they would bounce back at home to Osasuna. We said 2-0. It ended 4-0. Valencia, really bad start to the season. But nothing that we've not predicted, because like we said, we've literally predicted every single outcome. Last weekend, we predicted them to lose 3-0 at Atletico Madrid. They lost, 2-0, and they lost 3-0. In the latest home game against Villarreal, we set a low-scoring draw. It ended 1-1. And furthermore, we predicted the Bilbao defeat to Valencia. We said 2-0. It ended 1-0. And the defeats to Celta Vigo and Barcelona we called as well. But so it's not surprising to us that Valencia are in the table where they are, but it may look surprising to most of our punters because it's not a usual position that you would find Valencia in. And we think they may struggle again in this game.
Yeah, we do. We actually picked a draw for this game. I do like the odd draw, especially when we get them right. Odds of 3.3, which is very high. But we've also gone, really, for the main prediction, is both teams to score. Odds of that 1.75. Now, leading up to this clash, Valencia have not had a win at home in the last 7 league matches. So their supporters are going to be a bit peeved and looking for something. We're not sure they'll get the win. But, we'll have to hope for their sake that they can get a better result. In terms of the correct score prediction, we've gone for a 1-1, and odds on that are 6 or 5-1. And regarding what people think on our site, Valencia to win, 28% of people like that. Girona is actually more. More people think they'll get the win at 40%.
Oh,
and the other 32% have agreed with us, as in a draw, and half of them a score draw. Yeah. So, our 1-1 prediction is looking like, a lot of people split on this, but it's looking like it's probably a draw itself is probably nice, but both teams to score, also a good one. Anyway, let's see how it goes. But next up, we've got a well-known team, Real Madrid, 3rd at the moment in the league, who take on Espanyol, who are 12th. And it kicks off on Saturday, 21st of September at 8 p.m. UK time. Visit footballpredictions.net and you'll see your local kickoff time, betting odds, broadcast streaming channels tailored to your location for this match. I do know it's on Bet365 again, live streamed on there. Use the bonus code FP365 if you're new to them. And as you can imagine, Real Madrid going along quite nicely, aren't they?
Yes, I mean, as Real Madrid goes, I guess. But 3 wins and 2 draws so far this season. And then midweek, they capped their start to the season off with a 3-1 win against Stuttgart in the Champions League. And we said that was going to end 3-1. Prior to that, we called the win at Sociedad, the win at home to Betis. But the draws at Las Palmas and Mallorca may have caught us out a little bit. However, if we look at the home games, we've been very solid predicting Real Madrid. I mean, it's not too difficult to predict Madrid at home.
Yes, it is. It's very difficult.
It is. I would say the hardest part is to predict the correct score. First game of the season against Valladolid, we had 3-1. It ended 3-0. We had them to win by a 2-goal margin against Betis. We said 3-1. It ended 2-0. But then we had it spot on against Stuttgart. We said 3-1, ended 3-1. So for Real, a fairly decent start to the season. Although they will look at Barcelona and say, look, they've won 5 out of 5. We only won 3 out of 5. So the pressure is already on Real to keep up with Barcelona. Espanyol, they started the season not so great, but from our perspective, we called that because when we covered Valladolid Sociedad earlier on this podcast, we said how we predicted Valladolid to beat Espanyol first game of the season 1-0, and Sociedad then second game of the season 1-0. And so we had 2 correct scores against Espanyol at the beginning of the season. Then we had an under and no both teams to score at Atletico Madrid, which also went in. And then we had 2 both teams to score predictions in the last 2 home games against Alaves and Rayo Vallecano. So wow, our predictions on Espanyol has also been very solid, it has to be said. But yeah, they are up against Real Madrid, and I think already we know what way the tie is gonna go here.
Really? Well, you know what? You know what? Real Madrid are undefeated in their last 26 home league matches, so it's a bit of a fortress, you might say. And yeah, we've surprisingly picked them to win. 2-1 is what we've gone for. So I mean, they can concede the odd goal every now and again, and we think they might do that. So yeah, for a 2-1 scoreline, you can get odds of 11 or 10-1. But yeah, if you do like both teams to score, you can get odds of 2.05. But yeah, I mean, if you want to bet on Real Madrid to win, which is a very safe bet, you would have thought, you only get odds of 1.17. And if it's worth saying this, 71% of people responding on our site on the poll think that Real Madrid will win. Only 7% Espanyol. Ooh. And a few people, 21% or so, looking at a draw. So yeah, you never know. But yeah, a very safe bet if you want to go for probably is a win. But yeah, both teams to score is probably we get a little bit of value on that game. Next up, Getafe, 18th in the league, playing Leganés, 15th in the league. Kicks off on Sunday, the 22nd of September, 1 p.m. UK time. And for this game, footballpredictions.net provides your local kickoff time, betting odds, and all the available viewing options. One again, which is also broadcast live stream on Bet365. Use our bonus code FP365. Getafe not doing very well this season.
No wins so far. But again, it's not that it surprises us too much because we have not, apart from one game this season, we've not called Getafe to win. We've actually predicted the last 2 away defeats, and the last one at Real Betis we predicted spot on because we said Betis was going to beat Getafe 2-1, and it ended 2-1. At Sevilla, we said Getafe was also going to lose narrowly. They lost 1-0. We did say 2-1, but still we predicted the outcome of that one. Then we had 2 under 2.5 goals games against Sociedad and Vallecano. Both ended 0-0, and then both teams to score at the first game of the season against Athletic Bilbao. So not surprising from our predictions perspective that Getafe is in this position, but it's obviously not great for them. No win so far this season. And also, they've only scored 2 goals. However, they're meeting Leganés, and that is a team that they will be looking to want to beat. Leganés actually started the season okay. They picked up 5 points from their from the opening 3 matches, but they have lost the last 2. The 2 lost at Betis last time out. It has to be said, we are recording this on a Thursday, and we are aware that Leganés has a game tonight. They have a game tonight against Bilbao, so that might change things a little bit, although we don't think so. Anyway, at Getafe, it's going to be a tricky test for Leganés.
Yeah, let's cut to the chase. Getafe to win, we think, and odds on that win are 2.05 at the minute. We like an under 2.5 goals game for this, odds of which you can get for only 1.33, I'm afraid. But, you know, Getafe haven't actually won at home in the last 7 league games, so that's never usually very good, is it? But we think they'll get it here. Getafe 1-0, and odds of a 1-0 score, you can only get 4.75 odds, so not great odds all around, really, for those kind of markets. But yeah, that's what we think is going to happen. But under 2.5 is only 1.33. Surprisingly low, really. Anyways, that's that game covered. Let's move on to Athletic Bilbao. 11th placed Athletic Bilbao take on Celta Vigo, who are 5th. And it kicks off on Sunday, this one, 22nd of September, 3:15 in the afternoon in the UK anyway. Find your local kickoff time, the game odds, and available broadcast streaming channels for this match on footballpredictions.net. Look in our description, you'll see a link to this match, hopefully. And you can watch this one live streamed on Bet365 as well. Use our bonus code FP365 if you're a new customer to them. It could be an interesting one, this, because both teams are kind of in the same kind of form, aren't they?
Yes, but I think what's really interesting here is how Celta Vigo's games are extremely entertaining. And also, it has to be said again that for the outcomes, when we're looking at Celta Vigo's games this season, we have called all of them. We called all of their home wins and their 2 away defeats at Osasuna and Villarreal. Last time out, Celta Vigo played at home to Real Valladolid. We said Celta Vigo was going to win that game 3-1, and they did indeed win that game 3-1. We also had another correct score along the way, and that was the opening game at home to Alaves. We said 2-1, it ended 2-1. And then in between, we said Celta Vigo was going to beat Valencia, but that they were going to lose at Villarreal and Osasuna, which they did. However, it does put Celta Vigo in a okay position within the La Liga. They're actually 5th in the league. They're also the 2nd most scoring team. And at the same time, they're the 2nd worst team in conceding. So together with a few other teams, they have conceded 10 goals together with Osasuna, Las Palmas and Valencia. But yeah, so really entertaining team, Celta Vigo, to watch this season. So that might be one you want to pick up on those free streamings from Bet365. Anyway, Athletic Bilbao, bit of a mixed bag. Last time out, they traveled to Gran Canaria, or the Canaries, and they beat Las Palmas 3-2. We did say they were going to win that game. In the last home game, they lost 1-0 at home to Atletico Madrid before having beaten Valencia 1-0, a game that we said they were going to win 2-0. But again, no both teams to score under 2.5 goals. We did get the correct score right when they visited Barcelona, because we said Barcelona was going to win 2-1, and they did indeed win 2-1. But yeah, overall for Athletic Bilbao this season, I don't think it's too bad a start for them, because the 2 defeats has come to Barcelona and Atletico Madrid. And if we look in the league table, Barcelona is number 1 and Atletico Madrid is number 2. So I think it's a decent start for Bilbao going into this game against Celta Vigo. And I think one thing is for sure, there will be goals in this one.
Yeah, agreed. We think both teams to score is a good tip for this one. That's what we're going for. And you can get odds of that 1.75. But we think Athletic Bilbao will get the win. And so do a lot of people by the looks of it. 1.67 are the odds you can get on that as a result. And we've gone for a scoreline of 3-1. Odds on that you can get 13. So pretty huge. Hopefully we get another correct score on that one. So that would be 12-1 in fractional. In our poll on the site, on the page for this, which you can go to and vote in as well, 63% of people like Athletic Bilbao. Only 21% are going for Celta Vigo, and the other 16% like a draw. So moving on to our next match, which is Villarreal, who are currently 4th, taking on league leading Barcelona, who are 1st, of course, and it kicks off on Sunday, 22nd of September at 5:30 p.m. UK time. Visit footballpredictions.net to view the kickoff time and the betting odds and all the broadcast streaming channels tailored to your location for this match. And this one is also on Bet365. You can stream it from them and use our bonus code FP365 if you're new to them in the sign-up process. And this could be a cracker, because 2 highly ranked teams and neither of which have even had a loss.
Yeah, Barcelona, what a start for Hansi Flick as manager for Barcelona. It's not that it surprised us, because we have called all of Barcelona's wins this season. Last time out at Girona, we said 2-1, they won 4-1. Again, in on the goals markets, we didn't say 7-0 against Valladolid, we said 3-0. But what that means is also that we said over 2.5 goals and no both teams to score. And yeah, we had the win at Vallecano. We said 2-1 at home to Bilbao. They won 2-1. And they started the season with a win at Valencia. So yeah, Barcelona, we predicted all their outcomes, including a correct score along the way. But like you said, Villarreal, really interesting team here, because third most scoring team in the Liga. They're sitting fourth, no defeats so far. But I have to say, apart from that 2-2 draw at the beginning of the season against Atletico Madrid, they have played teams sort of mid to lower table.
True.
Last time out ended in a 2-1 win at Mallorca. Prior to that was a 1-1 draw at Valencia. Before they had that 4-3 win at home to Celta Vigo, where we said 2-1. But yeah, overall, this is going to be a very entertaining game. What would you think, that Barcelona is just too strong at the moment?
Yeah, I tell you, Villarreal have been entertaining. They've, in their last 6 games, 21 goals. So combined. So that's an average of 3.5 goals a game. And they've scored 12 of those. So it could be in for a bit of a treat with this one. So we've gone for both teams to score prediction, and you can only get odds of 1.4, but that's what we like, the look of. But we think that Barcelona, of course, will get the win, and you can get that or odds on that for 1.75. Interesting statistic that I think Barcelona are undefeated by Villarreal when they played them away from home in the last 15 league matches. Well, not many clubs can boast an away record like that against one team. So, we think that will continue on, and they'll get the win. So we think 3-1 to Barca.
Yeah.
And you can get, if you like a correct score prediction, you get odds of 12 or 11 to 1 on that. In terms of our poll, 70% of you think Barcelona will also get the win. 4% will get a draw of you, and the other 26% actually think Villarreal will get the home win. Well, you never know.
That's quite a few. Yeah.
But majority like Barcelona to carry on in that long sequence of wins against them away. Next up, we've got Rayo Vallecano, 8th position at the moment, who take on Atletico Madrid, who are second, just behind Barca. Kicks off on Sunday, the 22nd of September, 8 p.m. UK time. And go to footballpredictions.net and you'll find your local kickoff time and the local betting odds and broadcast streaming options available to you in your area. I know where we are. You can watch this one live streamed on Bet365. Use our bonus code FP365 if you are new to them and want to join and watch subscription free. Well, here's another team, as in the visitors, who are undefeated this season as well.
Yeah, Atlético's had a really strong start, although they have had 2 draws up from 5, but only conceded 2 goals, which actually happened in the same game. And that was at Villarreal. It ended 2-2 in that game. Otherwise, Atlético has not conceded in any of the other 5 games in La Liga so far this season. Last time out, they beat Valencia at home 3-0. We said 2-0 in that game. So, overall, strong start from Atletico. Just those 2 goals conceded against Villarreal. They're sitting second in La Liga. So, once again, Simeone's side looks very strong. On the other hand, Rayo Vallecano, to be 8th after 5 games, they'd probably be pretty happy with that. Not a bad start to the season. A bit of a surprise in the first game at Real Sociedad, where they won 2-1. However, more recently, they won their last home game. It was a home game to Osasuna. They won that one 3-1, and we said 2-1 in that game. So the last couple of games for both sides, we've had some fairly accurate predictions. I think, but we think with the way that Atletico is going, really hard to score against. It's gonna be too much for Vallecano.
Yeah, we think so. We've gone for Atletico Madrid win. You can pick up odds for that of 1.8 at the moment, but our tip is actually under 2.5 goals. We have gone for that one, and you get odds of 1.67 if you're interested in that market. Atletico haven't lost to Rayo Vallecano in games played away from home in their last 7 league matches. So it's been an impressive run against them. and it'll continue, we think, here, and we think it'll be a 1-0 away win. Odds on that you can get for an exact score, a correct score, is 6 or 5-1 in fractional. In our poll, 53% of you people who have voted so far think Atletico Madrid will get the win. Only 18% like a Rayo home win, and the other 30-odd%, which is quite a lot, more than actually the Rayo win, like a draw. So yeah, tight we think, but just over the line for Atletico. And that leads us on to the next game, which is Real Betis, 6th at the moment, taking on Mallorca, 7th. So that's going to be a close one in terms of league positions. Kicks off on Monday, this one, Monday Night Football, 23rd of September, 8 p.m. UK time. For this game, footballpredictions.net provides your local kickoff time and the betting odds and all the available viewing options, one of which is Bet365. You can live stream it and use our bonus code FP365 if you're new to them and you want to do that. And yeah, I think this would be a fascinating game because these teams are both kind of performing very similarly so far.
Yeah, very much so. This is just sort of on news. Let's just say it's too early to say if they're going to finish in Europe or not. But they're around there, 6th and 7th. I think both teams will be pretty happy with that. Betis is playing in the Conference League this season, so they did qualify for Europe. And yeah, but overall with Betis, and if we look at our predictions, we've had the last 4 out of 4 outcomes correct on Betis. That includes the home win also in the Conference League qualifier. If we look at their most recent game, that was yesterday. So midweek this week, they played Getafe and they beat Getafe 2-1. And what did we say? We said they were going to win that game 2-1. Prior to that, a 2-0 home win against Leganés, also at home, and we said 2-1. So very close on the predictions there. But overall, we called their home wins and the latest correct score. For Mallorca, they are away from home in this one. Their last away game was a couple of game rounds or match weeks ago. That was an away game at Leganés. They won that one 1-0. Prior to that, they had an away game at Osasuna, which they lost 1-0, and we said they were going to lose that one 1-0. But yeah, overall, let's just say it's a bit more of a mixed start for Mallorca. And also, despite them having won 2 games, drawn 2, they've kind of struggled for goals. They've also been hard to break down. They have a goal difference. They scored 4, conceded 4 in 6 games. So I don't think, and if we look at Betis, a goal difference, scored 5, conceded 4 in 5 games. So it doesn't sound like this is going to be a very particularly entertaining game.
Yeah, the overall average goals scored per game in the last 6 games for Mallorca matches is 1.33.
Yeah.
So not very high. And the number of goals averaged by them is 0.67. So, yeah, not expecting a lot of goals. Looking at Betis, they haven't actually been beaten in the league by Mallorca in the last 10 games. That's a pretty decent run there as well. And they're undefeated as well in the last 3 home league matches. So, yeah, it's kind of pointing towards a Real Betis win, which is what we think, and we've decided on 1.85 odds you can get for that. We think it's going to be close and low scoring, as we mentioned, under 2.5 goals. It's probably the safest one. 1.53 odds is what you can get for that in decimal. If you do like a correct score, 1-0 is what we think, and to the home side, obviously, and 5.5 is all you can get for that, which is not great, but yeah, shows how much even the bookmakers are thinking that will go in that kind of direction. So, in terms of voters, 58% of you in our poll on our website page think Real Betis at the moment anyway. Only 8% Mallorca to win, with the other quite a lot of people, was that 30-odd3% more, actually think it'll be a draw. So, yeah, close and tight. So under 2.5 is what we think, and that kind of bears out in those votes there as well. It's also worth mentioning that if you do want to see these matches, you can see them on Bet365. Geolocation and live stream rules apply. 18 plus, gamble aware, and use the bonus code FP365 if you're a new customer.
Yes, and in the description area of this podcast, you find the links to the matches we've just been discussing, or you can just simply head to footballpredictions.net. The beauty is that you can browse the online places to see the games from your location via streaming and TV channels, our tips for different betting markets, team news, head-to-head stats, and much more, including all the best offers and odds.
Yeah, it's really worth going to the site. And if, in case you didn't know, we do produce these football podcasts for additional competitions in addition to this one. Not every week, but we're doing at least 4 this week. And you can listen to them all at podcast.footballpredictions.net or where you normally get your podcasts from. Well, that's all. Thank you for joining us. And for now, it's
Adios.
Adios.
Football Predictions.